Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Again, their website is trueviewinspections.com. I did put a link in the chat so everyone has access to their website. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, this is the Matrix 101, setting up yourself for success. Again, if you generate anything in the MLS system, specifically Matrix, you want to make sure you have your signature filled out, your contact information, and whenever you go to the main website, which is miamirealtors.com, you're going to notice in the top left corner, we have a little button for consumers, meaning potential customers that you might engage directly with. So I want to repeat that one more time. miamirealtors.com. Yes, it's primarily for you guys, agents, and of course, brokers to access the MLS to find properties for your customer or to list properties for your customer. But our website, miamirealtors.com, receives thousands, and I mean thousands of consumers all over the United States and abroad that are looking for properties here in South Florida. Want to make sure that you guys, as I mentioned, set up your accounts. And if you speak any other language than English, you want to make sure that you add that information into your account. Why do I say that? If a potential prospect goes right here where you see consumers and then goes to the section, find a realtor, and they start searching for property in the area where your office is located, agents that have included the languages that they speak, they're going to show up in the results. So again, if you speak any languages, have any designations or certifications, I want to make sure that you guys include that within your accounts. So again, how do we do that? How do we incorporate updating our email address, our telephone number, and include all of the additional information about ourselves? Is we first visit the main website right here, which is miamirealtors.com, and then you access the Miami Gateway, either by clicking right here or by clicking the little button located at the top of our website. Once you click on the Miami Gateway, it should log you into the system, or it may ask you to sign in. Once you sign in, you're going to see a wealth of product and services that you have access by being a member with the board. Now, again, my name is Tyson Haynes. I've been with the board for 10 years, and I'm not just a trainer with the board. I'm also the vice president of creating resources for our staff as well as for you guys. If you're new to the board, there's a lot of great buttons here, but it's not always clear what these services can do for you by simply looking at the button. What I'm going to go ahead and do real quick is I'm going to put in the chat my link tree. All right, now that link tree is packed with resources, as I mentioned, that I've created directly for you. Okay, so again, go in the chat, bookmark, save that little link that I put there. And then what that's going to do is it's going to take you directly to my link tree where you can, of course, follow me on Instagram. There's also my direct telephone number should you need help with anything. But this is what I wanted to show you, resources. There is a product and service cheat sheet that I've created for you guys to make it easy to understand what these products can do for you. For example, most agents that just joined the board, before they start selling or buying properties, they represent tenants, right? So right here, we have a section on page 3 that includes all of our background check solutions when you're working directly with a tenant client. And this menu is interactive. So if you click on background checks, it's going to take you automatically and show you the buttons in your gateway for different background solutions, including what would be incorporated for free within that background check, and of course, options to upgrade. Want to make sure I mention real quick, there is a fantastic service that you get for free. It's called Landlord Station. You get one free tenant screening every single month by just simply being a Miami member. I also want to make sure I mention that we have a lot of buyers looking for new construction properties. I want to say that that's the number one property type selling on the residential side right now. So if you ever have a customer that says, hey, where are the new construction areas, pre-construction locations? Click on it, new construction services, and then that's going to show you all of the different products that you can look up, new construction services. And if you have a website, a lot of these new construction services will allow you to incorporate a page where customers can search for new construction. We do have a class for new construction as well. It's called the New Construction Portals class. Again, any class where we go over product and services within your gateway, you guys get those classes absolutely for free. Okay. Also, if you access this link tree, there's a commercial resource guide and there's a knowledge base that I've put together with the assistance of the MLS department called the MLS Help Center. This is a great knowledge base for new agents or agents that want to have a refresher on membership, what's included in membership, different resources when it comes to the MLS, also known as Matrix. You can click on it, and we have amazing tips on how to set up auto emails, how to save searches, which we're going to do today. Don't worry about that part. How to customize your MLS, and a breakdown on pretty much all of the different reports that you have access to in the MLS. Okay, so again, where is that located in the link tree? It's this little beautiful little button that says MLS Help Center. Just want to repeat one more time. Our tech training classes, they are for free. You do not have to pay to take these type of classes. If you want to see free classes like this and only see just free classes like this, go right here where you see Tech Training Calendar. Give that a click. And then that's going to take you into our calendar where you will, as I mentioned, just see classes just like this that are included as a member benefit, including both in person and, of course, via Zoom. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm going to go back real quick into the MLS Help Center because I want to make sure I mention that we are human beings and you're going to probably remember half or less of the information that I go over today, which is why we have training videos. So if you access this MLS Help Center, you can go directly into the training videos resource section. And over here on the left, you're going to find all 6 Matrix videos in one menu where you can fast forward and rewind and then repeat the searches within one page, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat real quick so everyone has access to this direct link. All right. And then I got a question. Rena asked, sorry, how do we bookmark, save this from here? Depends on the device, Rena. If you're accessing the link via a computer, if you have a PC, it would be by hitting Control D on your keyboard. That's going to ask you to add it as a bookmark. If you have a Mac, you would hit Command D. That's going to allow you to save it as a bookmark. If you're accessing the link tree on your phone, if it's an Apple device, if you scroll all the way down, you're going to see a little square with an arrow pointing up at the bottom of your browser. If you click that and then scroll through the menu, you're going to see a little button that's going to say Add to Home Screen. If you need help with that, you're more than welcome to contact me. I can help you save it on your phone. Okay, perfect. Now that I got that out of the way, we can sigh a little bit and say, hey, we got some resources after today's session that I can look at and then rinse, wash, repeat, and then follow the searches on my own time. Okay, so we're going to go back to the main website, miamirealtors.com. So we're going to keep going. This is the main dashboard. So when it comes to adding the languages that you speak, updating your email address over time, and any other contact information, when you're in this dashboard, in order to update your information, you're going to go here in the top right corner where you should either see a photo of yourself or you'll see your initials up here in the top right. Once you click, it's going to open up a menu right here where you're going to be able to access your account. Let's do that one more time. You're going to come over here in the top right corner. Make sure you're in the green section. You're going to click right here, and then you're going to click on My Account. That essentially puts you into the back end of the system where you can update your contact information. Okay, so the very first section we immediately go into is the account and password section. So if you ever want to update your password, you would do so located right here. Once you change it, you click on update, and hopefully the browser asks you to save it. Otherwise, try to remember your password once it is updated. Okay, now the next section is going to be the contact information. Most of you guys just recently joined the board, and most likely your telephone number is correct once we entered it, once we filled out your application. But again, if there's anything that needs to be changed, you're going to notice next to the phone number, if you click on X, that's going to allow you to delete any old contact information. And you can click on Add Phone Number to enter a new phone number, including a mobile number, office, fax, home, or other. Other, I would suggest, again, this is up to you guys. Other would be great for a Google phone number for forwarding whenever you're dealing with prospects, just to keep that in mind. All right, perfect. Further down, you can also enter your email address, including an office, personal, or other type, maybe a backup email. And you can have multiple email addresses on file. You would just click right here, add another additional email address, select the type, and then you just simply put it right here. Perfect. Once you're done, you click on update. And if you do decide to look yourself up in the MLS to see if the information has been updated, give it roughly around an hour if you update your telephone number, email address, in order for it to show in the MLS. There's a little bit of a delay. It's roughly around an hour. Okay, so again, the information we're updating, one more time, it deals directly with prospects as they look for us under the Find a Realtor button. The next location that we're going to go into is where we can add our photo that appears, again, should a customer or prospect look for properties in the areas that we service. All you have to do is click on Add Photo, Upload, choose File. That's going to put you directly into your computer, or you can upload an image of yourself. Again, just give it roughly an hour in order for that to update in the customer portal on the front end of the website. Any old photos, all you have to do is click the X and then update so it saves your preferred photo. All right, perfect. Now, the next section is optional. You do not have to necessarily come into the links and social section. But if you do want to, here's a good little flow. Include your website and, of course, social media, such as Instagram. So if you do want to add any links for websites or your social media, all you have to do is click on Add Another Link. Select the type. For example, if it's going to be a personal website, meaning your agent website. Agent website means a website that you've created outside of your brokerage's website for you. You would select that under personal website. You also have office website, reviews, video, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the way down to your Zillow page. All right. All you have to do is select the type, fill that out, and then make sure to update and save. All right. Perfect. Okay. So again, Instagram, most of us are going to use that. This is the best way to fill out the link. You want to make sure that it is secure. You would put this https://www.instagram.com/ the name of your Instagram handle. So again, if you do decide to create any links, I want to make sure I clarify real quick. make sure that you include the secure version of the link, which is https://www dot, and then you would put the link that you're trying to put within your account. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here, the HTTPS part, just in case anyone needs to grab that and copy it in order to create your individual links. Okay, now the next part, very important. It's the last section that you pretty much want to know about in the back end of the system. All of this doesn't do anything. Email signature all the way down to alerts doesn't do anything. The last section we're going to jump into is roster details. This is where you can add the languages that you speak and any designations and certifications that you may have. You would just simply go here, enter the language, click on it, and then it adds it automatically. All you have to do is once you add your languages, click on update so it saves that information directly into your account. Okay, now some of you are new to the board. You may not have yet designations or certifications. So I want to make sure I give you guys information on how you can look up the different designations and certifications that we offer, as well as the National Association of Realtors. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to go to the NAR's website. Again, nar.realtor. Again, that is the website for the National Association of Realtors. I just want to highlight a really easy, and I want to say free, because it is free, certification that you can get immediately. Again, all you have to do is go to nar.realtor, hover your mouse over education right here. There is a free certification that you can get. It's called the Committed to Excellence, aka the C2EX certification, which will allow you to establish, when you're working directly with your customer, how you can best work with them, including from a marketing perspective, but also it's a good refresher when it comes to the code of ethics as well as fair housing. And whenever we deal with our customers, as we call it, personal identifiable information, social security numbers, that type of information, it's just a reminder when you take that class, again, the C2EX, how we can best handle their personal identifiable information. Again, it is absolutely for free. Also, under the education section, if you want to see any other designations and certifications that are available, again, you go to nar.realtor, hover your mouse over education, and then go directly to the designations and certification section. And there's a couple that I want to highlight real quick. They're not for free, but they're certainly worth investing into. There's, of course, the ABR, which is the Accredited Buyer's Representative. It is a great designation. It does have a prerequisite as far as earning it. You do have to represent buyers, and you also have to make sure to apply for it. But what I like about the ABR, not to get ahead of myself here, but what I like about the ABR is it's going to help us, again, create that marketing game plan and of course, whenever we're getting, and I say this nicely, we're working directly with a buyer, you're hesitant about signing that exclusive buyer's agreement. It helps us overcome objections. It gives us great marketing solutions in order to secure that buyer brokerage agreement. So do not miss out on the ABR, the Accredited Buyer's Representative. Another one that you want to get is, let me move down real quick. There's a quicker way to look these up. There's the PSA, which is the Pricing Strategy Advisor. Very important when you're working directly with your customers, both from a seller's perspective when you list a property in the MLS and also when you're working directly with a buyer. The Pricing Strategy Advisor, what it does is it allows us to get feedback on how to find price opinions. It's going to give us lots of great information when we run a comparative market analysis report, aka a CMA, which we're going to do a little bit later on once we get to the 301. That's going to allow us to create a range in prices when we suggest to a seller or a buyer. The PSA, what I love about it is you get great information from the real estate agent's perspective and great advice from an appraiser's perspective. Again, when they come up with their market analysis on how much a property is worth. So do not miss out on the PSA, again, the Pricing Strategy Advisor. Another great one. There's one more that I want to go over. It's called the ePro. This one is great for marketing, and it's also a great reminder when you take this certification. It's a great reminder that whenever we create anything in the public space, we create an Instagram post, we create a YouTube video, or we create an advertisement for a seller when we're listing their property on maybe Facebook, whatever we generate in the public space, it's a great reminder of anything that we create, we want to make sure that there's some kind of lead capture that takes that potential prospect so that they go directly either into our CRM or directly into our website. Give me 1 second. All right. So again, ePro is great for marketing. Again, it's a reminder of anything that we create. We want it to go directly back into either our website or directly back into maybe our cell phone, such as through a text message. All right. Okay. Where can you look up on the main website of miamirealtors.com? Where can you look up and find all of these different designations and certifications? All you have to do is go right here where you see education, and then we've made it easy. You just go right here where you see designations and certification classes, give that a click, and you're going to be able to see all of the up and coming classes for the one I recommended for ABR. We also have for At Home with Diversity. We have a great certificate. I'm going to try to take this class in July, the AI-powered real estate professional certification. All of the up-and-coming classes for the certified international property specialist. ePro is also here, and let's move down. We do have the PSA, the Pricing Strategy Advisor, coming up in Espanol and Spanish on the 5th of June, as well as in Broward, our Sunrise office on the 11th, if you guys want to take those classes. All right, another recommendation, because I like to teach a lot of our investor classes. I also teach land mastery classes. I like to get into deals, right? There's a really cool certification that you want to know about. It's called the SFR, which is the Short Sales and Foreclosure Resource. It is, again, a great certification that you want to take in the scenario that we enter into a foreclosure market. We're not in a foreclosure market right now, but if 30%, and I'm going to cover this a little bit later on in the 201, 301, if 30% of the properties in the areas that you service are short sales or REOs, that's when these investors are going to come out and try to find these type of deals. Again, we have a class for this. It's called the Working with Investor series. We have that in English and also in Spanish, but you also want to get this certification, again, should we enter into a foreclosure environment. I don't foresee it happening, but if the cost of a chicken sandwich keeps going up more than the combo meal, how it was 5 years ago, I say this as a parent, I'm going to take care of my kids. Mortgage payments might be missed. Again, if things continue, and I say this nicely, I'm not getting into details here, but if things continue to get a little bit out of hand when it comes to inflation. But again, I don't think we're forecasting that type of market because, as I'm sure you guys are aware, back in 2020, the big lenders, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they changed their forbearance process. They're a lot more flexible when it comes to missed payments. But again, if, one more time, 30% of the properties in your area are REOs, which is bank-owned property, I'm going to, again, talk about what that is later on, or short sales, that could be an indicator that we're entering into a foreclosure market. Okay. Steve asked, why can't the PSA designation be added to one's roster details? If you can't, let me go ahead and double check that real quick. If you can, I'll report that to our membership department because that should be able to be added. Let me double check that for you real quick. Let me jump over to my Google Chrome. Let me see. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm going to report that to our membership department. What I would like for you to do, if you would be so kind, Steve, I'm going to put my email in the chat. Follow up with me. I just need you to email saying, hey, I'm the one that spoke with you directly about the PSA. Once I get the update directly from our membership department, I'll email you letting you know once it's fixed. But yeah, I see that that is an issue there. We'll get that fixed for you. All right. Okay. So we're going to keep going, guys. All right. So again, this is the back end of the system where you can update your account. Again, the top sections that you want to focus on is going to be from account password all the way down to roster details. Okay, now how do I get out of this section after I update my information? You're going to notice here in the top left corner, there's a little arrow that you can click that puts you back into the main page. Okay, as I mentioned, guys, I've been with the board for 10 years. When I'm looking for a product, sometimes I get lost in the mirage of all of the different products that we offer. In this new dashboard, there's a little magnifying glass that you can click on. So that's going to allow me to immediately just find the product that I need to go into. So we're going to go into the MLS, which is Matrix. So again, if I click on this magnifying glass, I enter the name of the service I want to access. And once I type in the name, I can click this little apply button and it will only show me that service in the dashboard, as you can see. Again, one of my personal favorite updates in the new dashboard. So this is where we're going to go. We're going to go directly into Matrix, and then I'm going to go over how to update your settings, and we're going to do a brief overview of all of the different property types in the MLS. Another thing I want to ask you guys real quick is if you guys took that land mastery class yesterday that I took, I would love some feedback. If you guys have anything that you want to see maybe in the future in that class, it is brand new, or if you have any feedback you want to provide, go ahead and put that in the chat. Again, if you took that land mastery class yesterday. Okay, so as soon as you go into Matrix, it takes you directly into your dashboard, which is customizable. All right, so again, this is the classic view of the dashboard. Some of you may have the new dashboard. I want to make sure I mention that over here in the top right corner where you see your name, hello, your name, you can switch the different versions of the dashboard that you have access to. So again, this is the classic mode, but if I want to go into the new dashboard, I can. Right here. Again, by clicking hello, your name, you can switch from the classic view or directly into the new dashboard. What we're going to cover today is going to be the classic version of the dashboard. Why? There's more customized options that we're going to cover in the 201 that I can do directly with my market watch and my hot sheets. Okay, but real quick, I want to make sure I mention it one more time. This dashboard is customizable, and your dashboard may look a little bit different than mine. Okay, Nora's asking a couple of questions. Let me jump into chat real quick. How do you go into the settings again? Right up here. And then you click right here on settings. Also, how did you get into Matrix? Yep, that's going to be here in the dashboard. It's going to be that very first service located here on the left, right here, Core Logic Matrix. And then what is the difference between the old and new dashboard? I'm going to be honest with you. The old dashboard has a little bit more customization options in order to update your market watch. Again, we're going to do that in the 201 and a little bit more options to customize individual hot sheets when you're working directly with your customers. The other big difference when it comes to the new dashboard is it's just easier, as you can see, to read all the different status types. But my customize option to edit and enter the areas that I service, it's missing in the new dashboard, which is why we're going to cover today the classic version so that we can set up our market watches. Okay, perfect. But real quick, what's the difference between a market watch and a hot sheet? The market watch, once you customize it, once you enter your markets, the areas where you have customers, it will give you a understanding of changes happening either within the past 24 hours or up to the past 7 days. As to a hot sheet, will give you changes happening in your local market, be that a brand new listing that hit the MLS, a property that was off of the market that is now back on the market. It's just like a market watch. A hot sheet's just like a market watch, but you can go back using the custom option. You can go back a total, let me just do this real quick. Again, I'm going to show you in the 201, you can go back 30 days. That's the difference, again, between the, go ahead and get out, market watch, and the hot sheets. Again, little preview. We're going to cover this in the 201. But if you can't find your market watch or your hot sheets, most of the time, it's going to be located in a little tab called additional. So if you're looking around in your dashboard, you cannot find, again, your hot sheets or your market watch, locate this little widget. Sometimes it's over here on the left. Sometimes it's over here on the right. All right. All you have to do is click this little arrow. What that does is it opens up the menu right here. And then again, anything missing that you can't see, you hold down your mouse, click on it, and then drag it. I would put my market watch right here in the top and then have my hot sheets right there underneath, as you can see. Now, again, if you're following along, you're going to notice that I have some additional widgets that you may not have access to. I'm going to explain why. You should have a market watch. You should have a hot sheets. You should have a little My Listings tray where you can see any of your active listings, any of your brokerages listings, but you may not have a My Favorite Search section if you've never favorited a search. We're going to cover that in the 201. All right. You may not have a My Cart section, again, if you've never saved properties directly to a cart. Again, 201, I'm going to show you how we can save listings directly to a cart. Why and when would you save listings directly to a cart? Let me explain. You save listings directly to your cart in the event you created a CMA in Matrix and you want a little bit of some additional listings to present directly to your customer. Again, after you first create that CMA in the MLS. Once you go back into the MLS and find some additional properties, you can save them directly to your cart and then export those properties into the CMA that you already started working on. Another reason why you save listings directly to a cart is in the event your buyer tells you, hey, I want to go on a showing tour this weekend. You can save properties directly to a cart in order to contact the listing agent to see if they're available for showings. Again, I'm going to cover that also in the 201 class. Okay, you may not have a contact request section if you've never saved listings directly to your customer and then they registered. I'm going to show you where you can create that landing page that you could share with them. That way they can register and turn into a customer under the contact section. All right. Further down, this one you may not have as well. It's called the concierge widget. What is concierge? Whenever you send listings directly to your customer, you can either set up an auto email where they get daily emails on listings that come into the MLS all the way down to each time a brand new listing hits the MLS. And then you have what is called concierge mode. Again, I'm going to discuss in slower detail what concierge mode is in the 201, but just a quick little example of concierge mode is you have a customer, right? They want you to send the listings directly to them via email, but they're kind of picky. And I say that nicely. They say, hey, the listings that you send me, I want to make sure that the roof has been redone. Or they say, I want to make sure that the home has been repainted, right? Concierge mode, as the listings come into the MLS, once they're listed by listing agents, once they come into the MLS, what you can do is pre-screen the listings. Look at them first. Approve the listings that your customer wants, and then reject the listings that you do not want to send directly to your customer. Concierge mode is just that screening where we get to approve or reject listings that we send directly to our customer. All right. Again, I'm going to show you how we can set that up in the 201. You should, however, have this button where it says Matrix Learning Lab. You should have this available. This is a great learning center, kind of like our help center, which will include videos on Matrix, One Home. What is One Home? Whenever you send listings directly to your customer, they access those listings via their One Home portal account. You want to make sure that you access those videos here so you can see what they receive. And CoreLogic, which provides us Matrix and One Home, They also provide us a tax roll solution called Relist. Okay, what is Relist? I'm going to go over that once we come back up to the very top of the website. Okay. Also, there is a mobile version of the MLS that you can use to send listings directly to your customer. That's going to be called MLS Touch. It's included as a member benefit. So if you ever have a customer that wants to receive those listings that they may want to buy, you would send those listings and access those listings for them using the MLS Touch application. And we do have videos for MLS Touch as well. Okay. Another service I want to cover real quick is eProperty Watch. If you're ever working directly with a for sale by owner, or you're prospecting sellers and you want to provide them with a instant home value on how much the CoreLogic system believes that their property is worth, you have a free solution for that. Again, it's called eProperty Watch. This is, again, when I'm working directly with the seller and I want to send them a monthly report on how much their property is being estimated in value. That's going to be based on listings in the MLS and sold properties in their immediate area. The other reason why I like eProperty Watch is if I'm working with a seller, and I say this nicely, we have some sellers out there that think that we're still in 2021, early 2022, where they were overpricing their properties. Prices are going down, and they've been going down, and even offer prices are going underneath asking right now. So if you're working with the seller and they, hey, I want to overprice my property, what I like about the eProperty Watch is they don't just get an instant home valuation, but they have an interactive neighborhood activity report, which will let them see the reality of how much homes are actually selling in their area, so that you specifically reinforce having them list a property at the right value. Also gives a market trends report on if that area is going up in trajectory, I should say, in value, or down in value. Again, free. Take advantage of the eProperty Watch option. Okay, so we're going to come back up to the very top of the website. We're going to go right here where you see My Matrix, and I'm going to go over what this is. Okay, what is My Matrix in the top left corner of your dashboard? If you create anything, you create a contact record, you create a auto email that you're sending directly to your customer, you create a CMA, anything that you create in the MLS can be found here, from your contacts all the way down to any of the cards that you save. Again, we're going to come back in here in the 201. We're going to do a much slower explanation of this menu. Okay, but when you're searching for properties for your customer for sale or for lease, you're going to go right here where you see search. Okay, now there is a new map search located right here that you guys have access to. We're going to cover that in a little bit in the 201. This is great for my agents that know South Florida like the back of your hand. You know your streets, your avenues, your intersections. This is new. It's still in beta. It is working very well. But again, it's still in beta. There might be a little bit of some glitches there. But again, come in here if you want to take a little test drive. Again, this is great for those that know South Florida like the back of their hand, and they want to search for properties for their customer. Again, we're going to cover this in the 201. For now, though, we're going to cover our individual property types. I want to make sure we understand all of these subtypes. Okay, so if you're looking for a residential property for sale for a buyer, you're going to go right here where you see RE1, RE2. What is RE1? Again, it means that it's a property for sale, not for lease. RE1 means single family homes or manufactured homes, aka mobile homes. Again, that's RE1. Again, 201, I'm going to give you guys resources on a full understanding of the RE1 type. RE2 is going to be all of the other residential property types. RE2 is going to be a condo type property, a townhome, a villa, as well as a co-op unit. Okay, what's a villa and then what is a co-op unit? Just want to cover that real quick. Okay, so a villa is a large townhome that is not attached to another townhome. Villa style property are very, very popular in the Vizcaya area. Let me just show you an example. Okay, let me go into images real quick. Here we go. That is going to be your villa style property. Again, typically it's going to be a townhome not attached to another unit. All right. Okay. And co-ops. What is a co-op? Co-op is a unit that has multiple ownerships, right? Where most of the time it can be owned by multiple corporations, or there might be a different owner on the land versus the unit itself. That's going to be a co-op unit. All right. Now, again, RE1, RE2, this is where I can find all of my residential properties that are available for sale that are one unit. Now, if there's multiple units, for example, I have a buyer that wants to buy maybe a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex, meaning up to 4 units. I can find under RIN, which is short for residential income, I can find those investment properties for that buyer. Again, we can find under multifamily income, duplexes, triplexes, all the way up to 4 units, up to a quadplex. If your buyer wants more than 4 units, they're going to need to search, or you're going to need to search under the commercial improved industrial section. Again, anything 5 units or higher, that's going to be under the commercial improved section. Okay, we're going to go back up though. Let's not jump into the commercial section yet. We're going to go into the next section, which is RLD, which is any land zoned specifically for residential. That does include land where we can build residential properties up to, one more time, 4 units. We can also find land for boat docks, such as RM zoning '08 in Broward. We can find boat docks, boats areas, dockominium docks as well, I should say. Anything under the residential land section. Okay, if I have a customer that needs a property available for lease, okay, that is residential, I would go here under the RNT residential rental section. I can find single family homes, townhomes, condo units, villa style property, co-ops that are available for rent annually under this menu, seasonally, monthly, all the way down to weekly rentals in the MLS. Okay, so again, I want to repeat that one more time. The minimum lease period, if you list a rental in the MLS, it needs to be a minimum of a week, 7 days. But that doesn't mean that you can't go into this section to find daily rentals. Agents can, in the remarks, include if that property is available for maybe Airbnb purposes. Okay. Now, the next 3 are going to be commercial in specific. So we have CLD, which is going to be short for commercial land. I can find any land that should be typically vacant, meaning just raw land where a buyer can build, for example, a warehouse or an office space, a flex space, right? Under the commercial land section. So we can find not just commercial land for sale under CLD, but I can also find land available for lease, including agricultural or just simply industrial land under the CLD section. Okay, now improved means it's no longer just a piece of land. There's now a structure on top of that piece of land. So right here under commercial improved, I can find for sale or for lease any commercial properties, including properties that have special zoning, properties that are used for mixed use. Very important that I mention that one more time. I can find mixed use property. What is a mixed use property? It is a property that is zoned both residential and commercial. We have a lot of retail owners, and I say this nicely, that are filing for, they're going through a foreclosure scenario where they are trying to sell a lot of their retail spaces and office spaces because since the pandemic, a lot of folks work from home now. They don't go to offices anymore, right? So we have a lot of owners that are getting out of their retail spaces, getting out of those offices by the beach, What we might be able to do is help them find, again, what is called a mixed use property where they can run their business out of the first floor and then live possibly on the second and third floor. Again, we always want to see all of these different patterns that are happening on the commercial side. I can also find under the commercial improved section, again, anything zoned commercial, again, for sale or for lease. Again, office spaces, warehouses, adult congregate facilities, adult living facilities, anchored centers, those big public style buildings, apartments, automotive, flex spaces, industrial spaces, office spaces, and then special purpose according to zoning from the city. I can find those special purpose buildings such as government facilities and areas for, again, if you have this type of customer, large areas where they can run their businesses under special purpose zoning. Just give you guys just a little taste there of commercial. So again, this is if it's for sale or for lease. We also have another type of search called business brokerage, also known as business opportunity. So if you ever have a customer that wants to buy the trade name of a company, for example, they're selling the name of their business. Maybe it's a gas station, maybe it's a restaurant. Maybe they don't own the location or the land, but they own the name of their company, their trade name of the company. We can find at minimum under business brokerage where they're selling the name of their business. We want to find locations for a restaurant. We don't use business brokerage. We use the commercial improved section. Just want to make sure I go over again the big differences between these two. This is if, again, they're selling the name of the business. This is where I can find if they're selling the location or leasing out the location. Okay, next one we're going to cover real quick is cross property. What is cross property? Cross property will allow you to search all property types in one menu. You can search residential and commercial all at the same time. Okay, we're going to keep going. Once we get into the 301, we're going to jump into stats. We're going to jump into statistical reports, especially once we get into 301. I'm going to go over when you should use these statistical reports as well as the options to incorporate them into Instagram and general social media posts, and also how they can potentially affect an offer when you're listing a property and, of course, when you're representing a buyer. Okay, so I saved these two. I want to make sure I go over these now. We have Realist and IMAP. These are tax roll solutions. What is a tax roll solution? Realist and IMAP, as well as RPR and Remine. Again, there's 4 different tax roll programs. What they do is they take information from the county appraiser's website and they allow us to look up information on a homeowner in one clean, easy page. I can see the legal bedrooms and bathrooms that the county has. I can see if they paid their taxes. I can see if they have a homestead exemption as well. And these tax roll programs are a little bit different, but again, they generally give us all the information directly from the county appraiser. The main other functions of these tax roll programs is not just to get homeowner information from the legal description, but also they allow us to run comparative market analysis reports against CMAs, price opinions, when we're working with our customers. And they're great options to farm. And I don't mean milking cows. They're a great solution to farm for potential sellers that you can reach out to see if they want to sell their property. Okay. One of my personal favorites is Realist because they have brand new reports. I do advise you guys to take the Realist class. We do have that via Zoom. There's great reports that you can use to convert a for sale by owner and just general reports that do a deep dive on that local market. IMAP, though, is I would say the absolute best tax roll program that we offer, especially in the new version. If we're working directly with a buyer, again, we get all of the legal descriptions. We get that bedroom and bathroom, the square footage of the property. What I like about the new version of IMAP is I can see if there's any, and I say this nicely, violations on a property. I can see if that homeowner filed a permit to modify their property, and I can see if they have a rental license to rent out their property as well. Okay, All right. I hope I sold you guys on IMAP as well as Realist. They're absolutely great programs. We have a link section here that will take you to the county appraisers websites for all of the counties that we service, all of the individual school websites here. If you ever want to look up the owner of a LLC, we have sunbiz.org. And if you ever want to make sure that you renew your license, or maybe you're working directly with an agent, right? And I say this nicely. I'm trying to figure out how to word it where it's not so crazy. If you're dealing with an agent, right, and you feel like, hey, maybe they're not licensed, maybe they don't have a real estate license, you can go to My Florida License and look up anybody. And you can see if that potential person you're working with has a real estate license or not. We want to make sure that we're checking for fraudulent activity. Further down, Smart Links, the section here will give you access to some of the additional product and services that we offer that you can click on, as well as clicking on in your dashboard. Just a quick little overview. Now, finance, real quick, guys. Finance has calculators in here, including home financing calculators that you can access, personal financing, investment, including a cap rate analysis. If you don't know what a cap rate is, make sure to take the commercial RPR class. We do a deep dive on the return on investment during a long-term hold. I give you guys the formula when it comes to cap rates during a long-term hold for the customer, and just general retirement calculators, as well as a seller net sheet proceed if they're selling their property, of course, with a mortgage. And then we have the buyer closing cost calculator located here, again, under the finance section. Okay, where we're going to go next is under add edit. Add edit is where you go in order to add listings into the MLS. Now, we all have different access levels directly from our brokerage. I want to repeat that one more time. We all have different access levels from our brokerage. Some of you may not even have an add and edit button. Some of you, when you're working directly with sellers, you have to rely on your administrative team to add that listing in the MLS. So again, if you don't have that add edit button here, it means that your brokerage is going to handle adding listings directly for you. But if you do have this button here, this is where we go in order to add new listings for sale or for rent for our customers. And any listings that we have, we also can edit them, put them under contract, put them as sold, change the price under this menu. The other important part when it comes to the roster section is how we update our photo that appears in the MLS. So again, make sure you go into the add edit section, go here under roster. This is another key location to add your photo. Again, should someone go under search and then they do an agent search and try to find you in the MLS, all you have to do is put your license number, the same ID that you used to sign into the system. You click on edit one more time under roster, put in your ID, click on edit, and then go right here where you see manage photos. This is where we go to add the photo one more time that shows up should an agent or broker look for us in the MLS. We just simply click on browse. That's going to put us directly into our computer where we can locate the photo that we want to use. We just click on open. And then once we upload it, we click on certify and save. If we ever want to delete an old photo, we just click on the little square up here, click on delete. That removes it directly from the system. But again, one more time, when you add your photo, you have one more step. You have to click on this certify and save. Again, where did I click on this? Add edit, roster. You put your license number right here, edit, manage photos. Again, this is where we go to upload the photo in the MLS. Rafael asked any place we can see the sales of an agent. Oh, we're almost there. Rafael, we're almost there. Don't worry. That's the next button. So again, once you add your photo, certify and save, you're good to go. Okay, so right here, market reports. So Rafael asked a really good question. Where do I go to look up a production of an agent? Or maybe I want to run a production report on myself. Go right here, agent production report. But I want to remind everyone, please, please, please take advantage of the articles that I created for you guys and our staff have created for you guys in the MLS Help Center. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a chat real quick so everyone has access to it. Just put it in the chat. Go into Matrix Resources right here. And then I have a breakdown for all of the reports, including the production report, the 1004MC report, ranking report. Everything is right here. Okay. So again, if you ever want to run a report on yourself or another agent, you go to Agent Production Report. We also have the appraisal report that appraisers use. That's called the 1004MC report. I'm going to touch on this in the 301. And then we have ranking reports as well as inventory reports for brokerages located right here. Okay. Now, another really, really cool thing that I want to make sure that I go over real quick is this beautiful little button called Intramatrix. We have partnered with other associations all over the world. I said that right. We have partnered with other associations all over the world where you can look up listings in their corresponding markets. But I got to say something. You have to have the prerequisites to represent a buyer or seller in these markets, including a real estate license. And you have to make sure that you have the required documentation that is respected in those local areas. Essentially, what we would want to use Intramatrix for is if I ever have, for example, a buyer, right, that says, "Hey, I want to buy a property in Georgia, maybe a cabin." Sorry, guys, I love cabins and I like going to camping areas. So if you ever have a customer that says, "Hey, I want to look up a property maybe in Georgia, right? Mexico, California, Colorado, Michigan, Ohio, Northern California," you can look up properties in these areas. And then you can contact the listing agent and possibly receive a referral. Okay, what I would want you to do though is look here. But you can also, this is going to be quick because we're running out of time and I want to make sure I don't go over too much here. There's another service I want to highlight real quick. It's called the MLS Match. This beautiful little button right here. I would want you, if you ever have a customer, a buyer, seller, and maybe they want to buy a property outside of Florida or outside of the markets that we're familiar with, I want you to come in here and then set up your referral terms. So again, you have a buyer, right? Maybe they're relocating from Florida. You're going to represent them as the listing agent to sell, but you can't represent them as the buyer when they want to buy in California. Create a referral, and an agent in California or anywhere in the world, you can create a referral. And if the agent can service that customer, you can formally, again, create that referral term, include the percentage that you're looking to receive, and you could potentially receive that referral. Again, it's going to be this beautiful little service here called the MLS Match. Okay, we're going to keep going, guys. Now, the next thing that we're going to cover is located here in the top right corner where you see hello, your name. We're going to go into the back end of the system where you see settings. Okay, so where we're going to go is the section here where you see my information. We're going to build out our information when we create reports and when we send listings directly to our customer. So again, hello, your name. We're going to click on my information. And then we're going to go through updating our contact information. But more importantly, all of these sections that you see here, they will become information that we can pull in the header and footer section. So I'm going to repeat that one more time. The information that we supply in all of these sections here, they become different menus, different ways that we can describe ourselves in the header and footer. But let's not rush it. Let's go back to information and let's go through how to update our contact information. Again, most of you guys are new to the board. Your cell phone numbers, your email addresses should be good. But do me a favor. Go to this section here where you see full name. Click on the override button for me. Click on the override, put your full name, and then enter any designations and certifications that you may have right here. Again, click on this override. That's going to allow you right here to enter your full name plus any designations or certifications. And if you, like me, you go by maybe your middle name, you can also For example, do this like that. Or you could just put your preferred name that you want to go by. Okay, perfect. Further down, you can include your title of employment. For example, if you're a realtor, realtor associate, you could put that there. If your phone number is incorrect, you can click on the little override. That's going to allow you to update your information right here. All right, perfect. The other thing is if you have a pager, hey, you never know. If you have a pager number, you can include your pager number right here, your fax number, as well as a toll-free number located right there. Now you're going to notice though, this section right here, let me go ahead and try to highlight that one more time. This section right here, you cannot edit it. This pulls directly from your office record. So anything incorrect here needs to be updated directly through your brokerage. That's going to include the direct office phone number at the front desk of your brokerage, your office fax, email address, as well as the general address right here. But this section, we have the ability to customize. What I ask that you guys do is create a little tagline about yourself. A great tagline, if you're brand new to the board, is residential specialist. Something basic like that. Whoops, I misspelled it. Residential specialist, just put that right there. And then under additional information, what I like to do is put my Instagram handle. Again, all of the information we're supplying here are going to be options that I can grab and put in my header and footer. So under additional information, if you want to put your Instagram, I would just put the following: IG, colon, and then the name, your handle for your Instagram account. Under website address, very straightforward, put your website address. And if you have a PA, right, or you're a junior like me, you can go here under suffix and then put junior or PA under this section. Or if you're a lawyer, hey, you never know, you could put Esquire as well. Okay, once you have updated your information, just click on save and you are good to go from there. Okay, now we're almost done. The next section we're going to jump into is the header and footer. Okay, the header and footer shows up when you create reports, including a CMA report and any general report such as a market report. It will show up at the very top of the reports that you create. Again, how did I get in here? One more time. You go here in the top left corner, hello, your name, settings, my information. One more time. Hello, your name, settings, my information. Now we're going to go directly into header and footer. And then I got a question. How can you create website from NAR? Love that question. So Molly asked, how can I create the website that I get directly from the National Association of Realtors? Should be, if I remember right. If it doesn't work, yeah, right here. It's claim.realtor, or it can be get.realtor. Let me go ahead and copy this, put this in the chat so everyone has access to it. But this is going to allow you to get that free website directly from the National Association of Realtors, as you can see. I just put that in the chat so everyone has access to it. All right. Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and now build that header and footer. Now mine's done. Let's first show you how to build the background image that appears. Again, should you create any reports that you share directly with your customer? How can I select my background? You can do so by going right here where you see banner image. There's two different options. You can upload one directly from your computer. Now, if you do decide to upload one directly from your computer, it needs to be exactly 946 by 120 pixels. Or if you want to use any of the options built into the system, kind of like the one I'm using, if you want to use one that's automatically for free, you can go right here where you see select a different banner image theme. What that's going to allow you to do is shop for the one that you want to use. We have a couple for lease, for sale. We have a blue sofa. My personal favorite ones are going to be further down. I use this one for the South Florida Commercial MLS, but there's a couple more in here. Have a garden patio, a golf course, great for those agents that work in the Silver Lakes area, right? Maybe Pembroke Pines area. My Doral agents as well. Have a whole home panorama, house at night, kitchen. Maybe I have an agent out of Miami Lakes. You never know, right? We have Lakeside Town right here. Lakeside Town 2, even though I would say this one looks more like Orlando, the Buena Vista area in specific. I have a living room Maybe you're a new construction specialist. I like the little wood paneling that we have here. Once you find one that you like, one that calls out to you, you're going to see this little square right here. I mean, rather a circle, I should say. This little circle right here. Once you find the one that you want to use, you click on it and then you click on preview. Preview will put you right back here and then add that background to the very top of your header. Okay, now the next part. Let's go ahead and let me delete everything that I have because yours is going to look like this if you haven't set it up yet. Everything here is going to be empty. Okay, now as I mentioned, under information, we are incorporating different ways to describe ourselves in our header and footer. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways to describe ourselves. I had you guys enter your full name plus any designations and certifications that you have. So under the first column here, select the one that shows your full name plus any designations and certifications that you have. That's going to appear here at the very top. The next option I would suggest to incorporate is going to be your cell phone number. Cell phone number. We always want that at the very top. That's the best way for us to get a communication directly from our customer. The next option I would recommend being your website. So go through your list. Again, we created all this information under information. Select your website, just like that. Make the next option the Instagram handle that we put into the system, just like so. And then I would always use the last option, the last little drop down menu to be the name of your brokerage. You would just put that here at the very bottom. Want to repeat one more time? All of the information that we can grab under the section is loaded how we're describing ourselves under the information tab. Okay, perfect. So once you set that up, move down. You can select your preferred colors as well. You can use the defaults. The defaults will automatically have the colors match the background image that you select. Or if you want to get fancy, you have use custom colors. This will allow you to select a background color, a branding text color, branding link color, which is this part right here, and then a banner background color as well that shows up in the back. What I would suggest that you do, take your time after today's class, jump in here, take your time. Why do I say that? Sometimes I say this because this is what happened to me when I first started 10 years ago. I had almost my whole banner unreadable. So again, take your time when you select your colors. If you make any mistakes where you can't read the text, click on reset. That's going to reset it so that you can start all over. Okay. Now the next section though is optional. Print footer. This was I feel like something we really did back in the 90s. It's not something that we really do today, but whenever you create reports, you can have a little footer that can include more information about yourself at the bottom of any report that you create in the MLS. If you do want to have a printer footer, you click on yes, I want a printer footer, and then you have 4 different ways to describe yourself. First one I would suggest to be your full name, second, your brokerage, third, your email, and then fourth be your cell phone number. Okay, let me jump into chat real quick. How do I find the branding? Yeah, let me jump up real quick. You go right here. If you're referring to the background image right here, you go here, select a different banner image theme. That's going to put you into the menu where you can select your preferred background. Okay, we're going to keep going, guys. We're going to keep going. All right, so again, once you set up your header and footer, you click on save. That locks in all of your settings. But we're going to keep going. We're going to go into CMA cover sheet. So if you do decide to create a CMA in the matrix system, and we're going to do that in the 301, if you create your CMA, make sure that you add your photo, add your contact information, also add your full name, your direct work phone number, and your website right here. Again, most of this information, I'm going through it quick because most of this is automatically set up like it should be for you. Just click on save and you are good to go. Okay, got another question. Let me jump into chat. I meant branding to add and delete Instagram and other information. No, absolutely not. So I want to stress one more time, the information that we put here, it becomes available once we add it under the information section. So the Instagram, I would suggest to put that here under additional information. Put IG colon, your Instagram handle, save it. That way you can go through the menu and then select it here. Perfect. Okay. So we're almost done with the very first part of today's session. The last part that we're going to go into is going to be the email signature. If you've never set up your email signature before, it's going to look like this. It's going to be empty. So I'm going to show you how you can set up that email signature. Very important. Whenever we send listings directly to our customer, this is going to be the very first thing that they see when they access their email that we send them. So I'm just going to treat this very basic. We're going to put sincerely, comma, no exos. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sincerely, comma. We're going to put our name right after that. Again, sincerely, comma, our name. But you probably noticed I added my photo. My photo was showing up in my email signature. So once you add your photo, one more time, under header and footer, once you add your photo here, you can grab the photo and then add that. Let's just go ahead and delete that real quick. You can add it after you type in your information. How do you do it though? You would go right here. There's a little photo icon, the little image button. Again, first you have to add it under header and footer. Once you add it, click here. One more time. Let's do that again. Click on the little photo icon. Go right here where you see select an image. And then all you got to do is click on the photo that you added, click on OK, and then it adds it directly to your email signature, as you can see. Okay. Now, if you want to add your email address, just type it out. If you want to add your website, I would do it like this. And if I want to add maybe my Instagram, I would do it like this. So again, all we're doing right now is we're typing. We're typing, and then I'm going to show you how I can turn these three different things into a link. Okay. So again, I first put my email address, my website, and then I put my Instagram colon, and then I just simply typed out click here. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to turn these three different things into a link. First, we're going to turn our email address into a link. What I do is I copy it over my mouse. I copy it, and then I go up here. One more time. I type it out. I copy it. I go to the little chain, the little link icon. But again, this is my email address, so there's an extra step that I do. I go to link type. We switch it from URL to email. And then I enter my email address that I copied right here. I can even include a little message subject that automatically loads in the browser of my customer if they want to email me, and a little body message as well. So again, one more time. Let's do that again from scratch. Okay, copy, chain, link type, email, paste the email, click on OK. Turns my email address into a link or a hyperlink. Next is website. It's the same thing, but one less step. So I'm going to take my website, the exact link that I typed out. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to link. I keep the link this time as URL, not email, but URL, because I am creating a link. But change your protocol. Make sure that you select HTTPS. Why do I say that? Sometimes your customer, if we don't use HTTPS in their little browser, it might say that the website's not secure. So again, protocol, HTTPS, paste the link here, click on OK, and you have effectively made your website clickable in your email signature. Okay, final option is going to be the Instagram handle. This one, we don't copy it. We highlight it though. We're going to highlight it. We don't copy it, but we highlight it. And then what we're going to do is take this where it says click here, we're going to turn this into a link. A little bit different. I want to show you the 3 different ways to create a link. So again, all I did is I hovered my mouse, didn't copy it. We're going to go now to click on the link. We're going to keep the link type as URL. Again, for our Instagram handle, change it to HTTPS colon slash slash. Then all we have to do is put www.instagram.com slash the name of our Instagram handle. Just like this. Just like that. Click on OK, and that's all we have to do. We've now made our Instagram clickable. You click on save and you are good to go. All right, guys, that is it for the 101. In a little bit, we're going to jump into at 11 o'clock, the 201. We're going to do a deep dive on how to search in the MLS, setting up your grid, going into auto email, as well as concierge mode in 9 minutes. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Just want to get off real quick. I'm going to go grab me some cafecito, and then I'm going to come back, and then we're going to keep going. But I think I got a question real quick. Mao, they said, how can you view this page from the customer's point of view? That's next. So do me a favor. Go make sure that you're registered for the 201. That's where we're going to do a deep dive looking at sending listings through Matrix and how our customer accesses those listings from the One Home page. Again, guys, thank you so much. Going to take a quick little break. Yes, Rina, this is recorded. I will send you guys a copy of today's session either today or by tomorrow. Again, guys, look forward to seeing you in about 8 minutes. Just want a quick little break. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. All right.